Hello. Good evening, everyone. My name is Ameya. I am the founder of scaleup42.com. This is a very proud moment for me. Today, we are meeting for the first webinar conducted by ScaleUp42 for the benefit of healthcare practitioners. ScaleUp42 is developing a program for naturopaths. Um, this program has been built for the naturopaths by consulting the naturopaths and getting to know what they are looking for in a partner who can help them with digital media campaigns as well as web technologies. ScaleUp42.com is a media company, a digital media company, and a web technologies company. We use a lot of data to identify audiences for our customers, our practitioner clients, who we can help to build an amazing market presence and online presence to create their awareness in their communities and help them to get new patients and build a thriving practice for them. With web technologies, we are building amazing human-centric experiences for the customers or the patients who would eventually find our practitioner clients and get to interact with them online and book appointments by learning more about our practitioner clients' work, get to know them through the online presence that they have built through us, and we help them to we connect the right practitioner, our patients, with their ideal practitioner. So today we are conducting our first webinar for the benefit of the practitioners to help them learn about patient's journey to find their ideal practitioner. Um, a bit about Scale42. As I mentioned, we are a digital media and web tech company. We have years of experience managing technology companies and apps for many successful brands in Canada. Uh, One of our partners has worked with companies like Toronto Star and banks like JP Morgan Chase, uh, developing and understanding the users and the customers of these companies and building marketing campaigns for the companies, as well as the clients that these companies serve. For example, Toronto Star serving hyper-local businesses with their advertising needs. So we have got a great team who is developing amazing marketing campaigns, digital media campaigns, and websites and app technologies. As I mentioned earlier, Scale Up Naturopath is our first brand serving healthcare practitioners. This brand is built for after consulting with multiple naturopathic doctors and healthcare professionals. The goal is to connect the potential patients with the practitioners and help our practitioners practice grow. The benefits that we bring to you are the advanced methods and technologies to develop the hyperlocal market for yourself. So without further ado, let's jump into today's topic, that is the patient's journey. Patient's journey or customer's journey from a marketing standpoint, um, in the healthcare industry, we use these words interchangeably. So, patients, when I say patients or customers, we are basically talking about the same the same demographic and same individuals who are looking for uh, a new practitioner to connect with. So these are the two definitions that have been identified. Again, these are not something that we have come up with. There are experts, researchers, scientists who have done years and years of study. And according to them, the customer's journey, for example, from Forrester, the customer's journey is a series of interactions between a customer and a company that that occur as customer pursues a specific goals. It could be, in another way, we can also consider that as an experience um, of a customer with a brand throughout the entire relationship. In this case, the brand is the practitioner or a certain service that they're looking for. Um, so customer journey is a framework that is uh, essential to understand how customers or how patients make buying decisions in today's world. Let us quickly look at how in in the in how it has been, how thought process has been around what a customer journey would look like in the past. Um, there are hundreds of there are hundreds and hundreds of business owners today who still think that you have a customer in the middle, and then you find different ways of doing advertising. So you have broadcast media like radio or TV, you do social media, newspapers, flyers, etc. And you do that, and when one way or the other the customer will come across these advertisements, and they would find your website, or in some cases they would walk into your store and and buy buy from you, or they would book an appointment, in this case with a practitioner. That's what usually how you think the customer's journey would look like. But in reality, it's completely different. The customer has the power to now interact with whatever kind of marketing platform that they could come across with. So you could have, the customer might find, or the patient might find, a practitioner on the social media like Instagram, or they might be on Google trying to know more about their pain points, something that they're struggling with, and some concerns that they may have, and they may want to find some solution for it. They might just come across a practitioner by doing a Google search, or if the practitioner has used a digital media agency like Scale Up 42, then they might even come across an advertisement about a certain service, and they may book an appointment or go to the website. But as you can see from this particular picture over here, the journey is not linear. One may find you on a newspaper ad and then, or a flyer, and they might Google you. And after Googling you, they might go to your website, and then they might just drop out or find some other practitioner and do all sorts of evaluations before they book an appointment with a practitioner. So there is a linear thought process and a simple mindset of, we'll do the advertising and they will come. But in reality, it looks very different, um, and it seems very chaotic and seems very random. And in many cases, or rather most cases, it could be chaotic and random when someone is making a buying decision. So the customer journey then becomes more of a, a breakdown or the frameworks of customer journey or the decision funnels, as we call them, would become we build frameworks around that, and then we identify what would be a different stage of the certain activity that at any given point in time when someone is performing online or reviewing some information on in a newspaper or a flyer, or listening to an ad, how can we segment that behavior to make more sense of the randomness that we saw earlier. So that brings us to the forms of decision funnel. And there are many forms of decision funnel that I'm going to walk you through. Um, Essentially, they would tell you the same story. This model called AIDA model, as you can see, AIDA, that there stands for awareness, interest, decision, and action. If as a business owner, as a practitioner, you can take one takeaway today from this conversation, I would say start thinking about your marketing campaign through the lens of this one particular funnel. This is the holy grail of marketing. And there are multiple ways that one can break down these four stages. And there are, and I will also introduce you to a few. But if you want to just think about one big takeaway from this conversation, then that takeaway is this, the AIDA funnel. So let's walk through this funnel and understand these different stages. The first stage, awareness. We can look at awareness stage from two lenses. The first lens is the lens of the customer or the patient in your case. A patient is someone who is looking for a certain solution to solve their problem. If a patient is currently going through stress at work or in general life stage, they are looking for a certain kind of solution, and the awareness of different types of solutions out there is something that they are looking for. So awareness is, I have stress. Now I want to know what are the different solutions available out there that I can that I can explore and understand. Um, uh, I can explore and understand, and then maybe indulge further and and study, learn, evaluate, make decision, and then take action or purchase it. So awareness from a patient standpoint is what is out there that can help me with that particular problem that I'm currently facing. So if I'm facing with stress, uh, is how knowing that I have stress, that awareness that there is a practice of naturopathic medicine that can help me to address that pain, makes a big difference for me. And that I may have not known that until I have done some research and I came across that information. So that's the awareness stage for me, knowing or being aware of what is out there that I can interact with to solve my issues. On the other side, where you're looking at from the lens of the practitioner, it is at that stage of the patient's journey where they have to build their presence where the patients are looking to get that education, that awareness. And for that, the idea of brand presence or brand awareness It's a very commonly used marketing term, is what the 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 practitioner should be looking to um, uh, to create. So when someone is looking for a solution for their stress issues, um, the brand awareness that I'm a practitioner and I am good at solving stress. I have the expertise, I have the skills, I have education, I have experience. That's that that information, putting that information out there is a way to create that awareness of your practice or the solution that you're looking to offer. Interest, um, that becomes the second. Now, if you have 100 people looking at that at any given point in time for a certain for a solution for a certain problem, they would everyone not everyone is going to be going for that a solution that naturopathic medicine offers. Maybe some might go look some might be interested in some other form of solutions um, or services, whereas then the funnel starts narrowing down, and the second phase or the second stage of that funnel is the interest stage, where your content has caught someone's eye and they are learning more about you, or the solution that you're offer, the method in which you provide that solution, the language in which you have expressed uh, that solution on your either your website or your Instagram post, or other forms of social media, blogs, some forums maybe. So it starts generating more interest, and at this point in time, they are they're feeling more interested, and they it's that lead is that is coming to you gets uh, is getting warmer. There's a possibility that at that point in time there might be another competing practitioner, and not just practitioner, but maybe another competing service. For example, at that point there might be a fitness instructor who might say that they have developed a training program for stress relief, and now they're considering whether they should opt for option A, which is naturopathic medicine, or option B, which is fitness training. And maybe in an ideal world they should try both and make the decision, or maybe the ideal solution for that particular patient is a bit of both. But there are time constraints, and then there are financial constraints, maybe um, sometimes even physical constraints, and both these things are not possible, and they have to choose between A and B. And what would make them choose A versus option B? And that's what where having testimonials, reviews, case studies could help. And when these additional pieces of information um, builds the trust and the credibility of the practitioner with that potential lead or the potential patient, uh, helps to narrow that decision down. So this is a very critical phase of that customer's or the patient's journey to find their ideal practitioner. And once they have chosen these two, once they have maybe they have shortlisted the two options they have come across through their research, it is now about the action, and they are going to purchase it. There could be a simple stage between the decision and the action stage, and uh, that is evaluation, where they might want to have a conversation with somebody before they make that final call to actually invest in that treatment program. So that um, is where you have that's where you in many cases, like I have seen naturopaths offer 15-minute consult. Now that's a very that's that and that has proven to be very effective. And that is where you are looking at, that's the consideration phase, where after that 15-minute consult, the patient goes back and reflects upon that experience and comes back and says, oh, okay, you know what, I would like to go forward, or maybe no, this is not for me and I'm not going to go for that. So, and that's where you come in. And then there are technologies as well, like some automated technologies like chatbots, who that are now created by technology experts, which interact, these chatbots interact with the patients when they're on that practitioner site and answer some quick questions. That also helps to build some credibility and get people to sign up with the practitioner. So there are multiple, these are the 4 stages. Understanding of these 4 stages is extremely important for any business owner. And when you as a practitioner owner, clinic owner, or an independent practitioner are evaluating marketing ideas, marketing techniques, or vendors or agencies, this is a fantastic, this knowing this funnel is helps you to ask right kinds of questions, build right kinds of marketing strategies, understand the budgets, understand the creative content, and so many other aspects of marketing. So this is where everything begins. And if in this 1 hour long conversation, if you want to take away just one thing, I would highly recommend that you focus on this funnel, AIDA. Um, some marketing experts then have gone ahead and broken those 4 stages even further, mm, for with awareness and interest and consideration, which we already spoke about. Um, they have included evaluation and decision before the purchase is made. So the although it is not a linear thought process, once the awareness has a phase is completed, and the practitioner, or the patient has gained some interest, they're considering different kinds of options, and they are now evaluating those options. They're going to make the decision, and that decision would depend on how well they how comfortable they feel with the evaluations that they have done. They would make a decision, 15-minute consult with naturopath and 15-minute consult with naturopath B. Maybe those could be the 2 criteria based on which they would be making their decision. And finally, they would say, when they choose either A or B, they say make a purchase. And further down the funnel then becomes a repeat purchase, which is also extremely important phase. It is a very well-known fact in the marketing world that acquiring a new patient would cost you 6 times more than keeping a patient that you already have. So a brand new customer acquisition cost is every dollar that you make from a brand new customer would cost you 6 times more than you would every dollar that you would make from the repeat purchase from your existing customer. So repeat purchase is very key to the growth, and that also becomes a very essential part. The repeatability um, and the follow-up appointments become extremely important. Loyalty is when that customer or that patient chooses to come to you and ignore maybe some kind of promotional offer by someone else, and they choose to remain with you, uh, no matter how, no matter what the cost is, uh, of not doing business with somebody else. And finally, advocacy is where you are looking at somebody referring a patient, another patient to you, sharing your content on social media, liking your content on social media, word of mouth, and so on and so forth. So that's also, these are the important stages or of after, what we call aftermarket, where we have already got a patient to sign up with you, but then keeping that patient and increasing the value that the patient would create for your practice. That becomes an extremely important, that becomes extremely important process as well for in the journey of that patient's journey with interacting with your business. Um, this is another view of the same decision model that we spoke about, and the reason why these all different frameworks or the variations of the first AIDA model that you show is important is it helps you understand how, um, how a patient or an individual who becomes your patient moves through the cycle and through that journey. Awareness stage, again, if you look at the out of market stage over there in the gray, that part is your awareness phase, where they don't know yet what they want. They know that they have stress, but they don't know what to do yet. So they're currently, from a naturopathic medicine standpoint, maybe they're out of market. They're not, they don't know that the market exists maybe, and even if they do know that market exists, they don't know whether that market holds the solution for their problem. So they will still, that's still out of market. Slowly, with some research, they learn about naturopathic medicine's capability to solve their issues, and they go on to some websites or some blogs, read through some information. Maybe they are having conversations with their friends or family members, and they get to know about naturopathic medicine as a solution to their problem. So that starts triggering their inquiry, and then as they learn more, they will then become, they will start interacting with certain brands, and the consideration phase comes in, where they're looking at whether I should go to Dr. A versus Dr. B. And from active evaluation, they make the decision to purchase. So once they have made that purchase decision, then comes the point where it's about the experience. Now, sometimes I could also take a step back, and I can say that that 15-minute consult that they are booking with you as a way to, um, uh, earlier I mentioned that it is a consideration phase, that they are, in a way, it is also a purchase phase, because they're paying you with their time and effort to come to you and listen to you and have that conversation with you. And as a marketing professional who is looking to attract customers to my business, I'm very empathetic about what that means to the customer when they are they have made that decision to give you their time, to give me their time. And it also, that experience and providing a great experience at that point in time is very important to me. And I believe that is a way to build that strong bond with the patients, um, and 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 put them, and make them feel comfortable, to and make them comfortable with the choice that they're going to make. So that's your that's where you're creating that experience. And of course, when they book an appointment with you and they start the treatment with you, they would the experience, everyday experience, every time they would come to you, that experience would matter. Then we spoke about loyalty earlier. Then the loyalty happens. They advocate your services to other people, but more importantly, the loyalty helps you to build that strong relationship, so they will not choose somebody else over you. So these are the decision models, funnels that I have in. I showed you in a vertical format. I also showed you in the loop format, but this one is a horizontal format of the same. Again, it's the same model put in a different way, and I'm showing these to you in different ways because it helps to understand how the different uh, positioning, or the different like vertical and loop and horizontal way to develop different strategies. So here you can see you have the same phases again: awareness, consideration, purchase, retention, advocacy. Retention can be, you can replace retention with loyalty. So different words, different types of companies come up with different words, but they essentially mean the same. um, and here you can also see the different marketing channels that one may use to create those triggers or those interactions. So for awareness stage, where my friend told me that, hey, if you're struggling with stress, then you should go and see a naturopath. That's the word of mouth. But an advertisement on radio, or something that they might have read in the newspaper about the benefits of naturopathic medicine, that creates awareness. Maybe they came across an online advertisement or an email that might have been forwarded to them. Those are the ways of creating awareness. Pay-per-click campaign, which is usually a Google AdWords ads campaign, where when somebody's typing keywords about stress and they see an ad of a naturopath that says um, that they are specialists of some sorts in stress management, maybe, and they'd say, okay, I didn't know that, so now I'm aware of that. And then they start considering that option. These, by no means, this the positioning of these marketing channels, this is by no means this is a silver bullet. They could change. And email can be used for retention purpose also. For example, in this case, they are showing it in the awareness part of the funnel, but you can easily use email marketing tactics to trigger the repeat visit with your with your patient. Google pay-per-click campaign can easily lead in the person from awareness and consideration stage to purchase stage very quickly. Blogs can definitely help. Blogs definitely help a lot in the consideration phase, when people are looking for a specific service. So education helps to um, make those decisions. So by no means they are fixed in this funnel. Website, for example, your blog may be on your website, so people are already going have to go to your website to read your blog. So by no means this is static the way it has been. It is a very dynamic. Um, we can use these channels in a very dynamic ways, but essentially, you as a practitioner, as a business owner, have to know which channels to be used, when, and for what purpose. That would help you to build your marketing strategy and build your marketing plan. Make sure that you're putting the right amount of money at the right point of in the right uh, stage of the patient's journey to find you. Uh, Very important. This part of what you see on the screen are customer segments. Um, This example is from an organization that I used to work with in the past, and then we used to use this service a lot from this particular company. This is called the company is called Environics. It is one of the biggest customer segmentation company in the world. Their product is called Prism 5. Extremely expensive product to buy. Do not advocate this for a small business owner unless that small business makes lots and lots of money in revenue, and their job is customer segmentation. But the reason I have put this particular slide here is that we looked at the patient's journey in a very generic way. But patients are individuals, and individuals have got personas, very unique personas at that. Those personas are influenced by their demographic, at the various attributes of their demographics, right? You have their basic segmentation attributes over there. You can see the average household income, education, occupation, the cultural norms and social values on one side. And then there are lifestyle attributes like the type of media they consume, food and drinks that they have, the kind of cars they drive, um, the financial acumen that they possess. That makes of that becomes very important. So to understand what kind of customers uh, are you what kind of marketing should you do, and what is the customer, what would be the patient's journey if they were a South Asian society um, customer customer segment, or they were metro multicultural as the customer segments. So whether the person is a man or a woman, or a person is in mid 20s or late 50s, whether they are what their ethnicity is, whether they're Asians or South Asians, um, depending on who they are, it is very important. They have got certain way of evaluating um, your services. So knowing your target audience, knowing your target customer based on the services that you're offering is also becomes a very important part in defining your customer's journey. There's also one of the attributes, for example, is the disposable income. How much, or for that matter, the kind of jobs they do. If do they have benefits or they not have benefits, and if they have benefits, then would they choose to go to a naturopath, or would they use it with some other healthcare practitioners? um, so knowing that information is also very, very important, as that helps you to then streamline your marketing budget, as well as the content on your ads, the pictures that you will have on your ads at different stage. And maybe somebody is looking, maybe an Asian person is looking for a naturopath in their locality, or they are, and then what kind, and if that's the kind of demographic that you can serve, if you can speak in those ethnic languages, maybe you may have an opportunity to drive that. So there's a lot of attributes that one has to consider. Besides, once you know that there's an AIDA model that you have understood, now you could also start thinking about the customer segments and how the customer segments behave in each of those stages of that AIDA model that we discussed so far. So that becomes an extremely important attribute when it comes to um, identifying the right patient journey. Because at the end of the day, patients have very unique attributes, and we have to be very cognizant and empathetic towards those attributes as well. Um, Roughly, as you can see over here, this is how a customer journey may look like. Um, in the first stage over here, you can say, you'll see this roughly drawn sketch says, oh, I hate pharmas. And so the friend says, why don't you go and see an ND, a naturopath? And that becomes awareness. And suddenly they go, that gets them interested. They get on Google, they do some research on, while they're doing the research, now the interest has generated. So that's your I part of your AIDA model. And then they go to your website, and the website has got some content and information. They look for, once they have read through that content and information, they start considering you as one option. And then they would book an appointment or a 15-minute consultation, and they would then come to your, so that's when they have done the consideration part of it. And if they come to your office and they like you, that's the part where you have got that purchase decision made at that point in time. So this is a very quick glance of what it may, a very simple journey may look like. We have already gone through a lot of complicated ideas around that. So this is a quick snapshot of what it may look like. Finally, a quick example of an attributes of the interacting with your potential customers. So let's assume that there is a patient who is right now in a consideration phase, and that consideration phase, they're already aware that they want a naturopath, they want to go and see a naturopath for the problem that they're facing, and they're considering a few options, and they're Googling it on Google. At Google, they find an ad of a particular naturopath that has the right kind of keywords that they were looking for. There are sometimes one may type a certain keyword, but a patient might type certain keywords, but the content, or the copy as we call it, that shows up on Google is not very appealing. So it's very important to know that when somebody types a certain keywords, what kind of message needs to be displayed on Google Ads. So that becomes an extremely important um, consideration for when you're running advertisements for this stage. Timing of the ads, and this is something that many marketing managers don't consider, the timing of the ads. According to research that Scale Up 42 did, we noticed that it's generally on Tuesdays and Wednesdays when people start looking for a naturopath. Maybe they're at work and they have some time to do some research, and they're looking for a naturopathic doctor, and then that's the time when they either write for an inquiry or inquire about what about the services and timings and fees and other relevant information that they're looking for. The content here, the ads might go to the website where they are looking to. So the timing of the ads is very important to make sure that you know when to make sure that when you should be out there and advertising and when you shouldn't is also, that's very important. The destination is your website. Super, super, super important. That's your first interaction, the first real interaction between a potential customer or a patient and you as a practitioner is your website. Your website is like your business card. It's your virtual assistant, you may call it. It's the virtual brand presence, your colors, the language in which you have posted your content, the way the customer is experiencing the content on the website, the speed with which it loads, the colors, as I mentioned earlier, the call to action buttons, are they placed in the right place? Is making sure that there are certain pop-ups and triggers that happen at the right time, making sure that they don't occur as often as they should, and so on and so forth. So it's very important that, and of course, the actual information, the case studies, maybe or blogs, so that becomes very important. And then the communication, that's the call to action. Like, what are you asking the customer to do once they have consumed that information? So that's all in all, that's how it may look like in that patient journey. These, and again, these are only a few select attributes in that particular stage, but these are a few important attributes that one one should consider when they are building their patient's journey and helping the potential patient to navigate to their to buy from them. All right, so last but not the least, one thing that I wanted to stress upon is, once you have known all of this, there is a what is important is, as you are defining or developing your customer's journey, um, comes is basically the return on investment, for lack of better word, um, or measurement of how things are going. Now, in the past, someone has said, half the money I spend on advertising is wasted. The trouble is, I don't know which half. Is this still true? Yes and no. But the fact is that the probability of knowing the marketing effectiveness has increased. There are tools like Google and social media analytics that can help you to identify how people are interacting with the certain types of ads that you're putting it out there, and they can then um, and when they interact with you, you will know how they're performing, whether the advertisement that you're showing is driving results. And those results could be, somebody clicks on that ad and goes to your website. Is that content that you're putting out there is relevant enough that that would that would convince the potential patient to click on your ad and come to your site or not? Uh, so it can be measured in many different ways. For example, Google Analytics, this is a screenshot from one of the clients. For example, in a certain time frame, they received 80 users on their site from the paid search campaign that they were running. Then you had the direct traffic was only 5, where the organic search, because of their SEO content on their site, was 5, and somebody referral sites, meaning it could be social media or something else. And there were 2 users that came from there. So knowing where and how these users are coming from is very, very important. At what point in time, there could be different kinds of um, analytics that can be set up on your website to understand how your ad campaigns are running and how they're developing, how they're interacting with the potential patients and in different stages. So if you have got a certain ad campaign that is targeting for the awareness part of it, or say your social media campaign is creating awareness about your stress management solution, is that ad creating enough interest that people are clicking on it or not? You will know. And if it's doing well, then it's great. If it's not, then there needs to be changes, and you will go ahead and make those changes. So so in summary, uh, customers or patients are people. They have unique attributes. You have to understand those attributes. Most of them make decisions in the same way, in the same format as AIDA format. They may go back and forth, but eventually they will have to go through the same phases of decision making. Knowing which ad, what media, or what channel to use is important. It helps to define that journey, and then taking them to a certain destination, in this case, the office of a naturopathic doctor, and getting them to to sign up with you. So that brings me to the end of the presentation. um, I'm assuming there's not going to be any questions, since this has been mainly, there's nobody right now who's listening to the live podcast and live webinar. But if you have any questions, then I'm going to post this in different media channels, and I would love to hear from you. And if you have any questions, you have my email address as well over there. You can definitely connect with me and and um, and chat. I'm very happy to help you, and if there's anything that I can, uh, if that anything my company can help you with, please give us a shout. Thank you so much. If you have reached this point, then thank you, and I greatly appreciate your keen ear to listen to me and my uh, and my presentation. Thank you so much. Have a good day, good evening. Thank you. Bye.